legislate, literally, in a
Legislate.
in the context of a global state, that there should be a maximum artificial IQ level.
Sure.
And if you go beyond that, you're a criminal. But that won't stop the cosmists. I mean, if necessary, they just go underground. They could form a conspiracy, and maybe you only need a few hundred of them, all brilliant, to actually do this. So that suggestion will not stop the cosmos.
Okay.
Especially if it becomes a kind of religion to them.
I see. Yeah, I suppose that once you go down that road, it seems inevitable that it'll eventually happen. But hopefully.
Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised. I mean, literally on a cosmic scale, there's a trillion stars out there, and our solar system's about roughly 5 billion years old. The universe is about a bit under 14 billion years old. So there are probably zillions of other star systems out there where. Imagine life is commonplace. Bacterial life is just everywhere. Imagine.
Yeah.
And you get the Drake equation type thing.
Yeah.
So some of it ends up being intelligent. But I wouldn't be at all surprised that this transition from biological to artilectual, if you like, maybe this process has already happened in the universe a zillion times, and we're just as human beings now, we're just going through this inevitable process that's just part of evolution.
Sure.
On a cosmic scale.
Right. Yeah. I guess I've thought about that as well, as far as across the universe, if it's happened, and if maybe some societies survive, maybe some don't. I know that's been argued quite a bit, but I just hope that we can get there safely. That's my my hope.
Well, yeah, I hope so. If I were a Terran politician, I would hope for the best.
Yeah, sure.
And prepare for the worst. And the worst is, of course, a war.
Yes.
A terrible, terrible war. And then this time the stake is not the survival of a country. This time the stake is the survival of the species.
Sure.
So if there's a war, the passion level will be so much higher simply because the stake is so much higher.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm pessimistic about it.
I understand. Yeah. Well, hopefully, if we get more optimistic news in coming years, maybe we can have you on the show once again to talk about how artificial intelligence is evolving on this planet. And on that note, I'd like to thank you very much, Professor De Garis, for joining us this evening.
Yes, thank you. It's been fun.
Yeah, it certainly has been fun, and thank you for answering all of my questions and all the audience questions. And like I said, hopefully we'll have you again in the future sometime. And with that, I'll bid you a good morning in China.
Okay. Well, good night, is it?
Yep, good night here.
Ciao. Okay.
Have a good night.
Okay, bye.
Okay, there you go. Hugo De Garis, nice little talk about artificial intelligence, and I'm kind of upset about how pessimistic he is about the future. And again, I wonder if it's maybe I wonder if it's a generational thing. He's a little bit older. He said he's 60. I'm in my 30s. I know a lot of people at the Immortality Institute are in their 20s, and they just seem more positive about the future and about how it's going to evolve. And I think it has to do with, again, people being connected across the globe and talking with each other. And the more people are connected, it seems the less violence there is, the less bad, the less ill feelings we have across the world. So that's why I'm kind of optimistic about it. I think there will be a great debate, like he says, about how far to take artificial intelligence. But I think with more people contributing in this discussion, that it's more likely that we can arrive at a safe conclusion. Let's just put it that way. And I want to thank everyone for asking some great questions tonight. Thanks to everyone for stopping by in the chat. Some great questions tonight. And right at this point, I don't have a guest for next week's show. I'm working on it. But it's going to get a little difficult in November to get some guests and even host shows, such as the weekend of the Convergence Conference. Register today. It's going to be a great conference. Convergence Conference, that's the weekend of the 15th and 16th of November. And I'm going to be flying, going in between the conferences, and I won't be able to host a show that night. And also later in the month, I've got it's around Thanksgiving time, and I'll have some family things going on and this and that. So there will be a couple of weeks at the end of the month I won't be able to host a show, but hopefully next week I can get a guest in here on the 2nd of November and the 9th of November. I'm hoping to get a couple good guests in, and I have a few on that have committed. They just haven't set a date as of yet. Oh, and speaking of artificial intelligence, Ben Goertzel has agreed to participate. You may have heard that from earlier in the year. Well, I got back to him, and he said he could have done something maybe late November, but we might have to push that off until December. So another great artificial intelligence show coming up in December. So with that, I'm going to end the official recording for this Sunday evening update on October 26th.